And your network is very poor, ma'am. Hello, Reshma ji. I think our network got disconnected. So now we have the next speaker. Next speaker is Dr. Speaker is Dr. Arora, Dr. Pankaj Arora from the University of Delhi. So I invite Dr. Pankaj Arora ji. He is the Director of Institute of Lifelong Learning, University of Delhi. So Dr. Arora, have you joined? Hello.
Yeah, yes, Gavaji, I am there.
Dr. Arora, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody. And
good afternoon.
I am grateful to Shri Virendra Rawatji and Green Mentors for initiating dialogue and discussion on integrating inspiring stories of Mann Ki Baat in education.
Yes, sir.
Pankaj, sir, sorry to interrupt. Please share your video.
I don't know why it's not opening. Let me try again.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Is it open now? Yeah. Okay. So this theme itself is very, very relevant because Mann Ki Baat is bringing a long range of ideas connected with Indian ethos, Indian culture, Indian values. And it is very, very important to give them space in formal education system. So my compliments to the organizers for taking up this relevant theme.
Thank you, sir.
Specific theme which I have been assigned is education is lifelong process. As just now, Rawatji was introducing me and telling that I am given the responsibility to look after Institute of Lifelong Learning in University of Delhi. So this Institute Lifelong Learning, the same is by theme for the day, education is lifelong process. Friends, I am a student of education, and in education, we believe education is a lifelong process. It never stops. Whatever you are doing, wherever you are, whether in formal setup or informal setup, whether you are attending some school, college, or you're working somewhere, you are a homemaker, whatever responsibilities you are looking after in the society, you are learning and you are helping people to learn a lot of new ideas and creativity. Education is lifelong process. This we believe that this lifelong learning aims to make use of number of avenues for imparting knowledge throughout the life of an individual by employing a variety of platforms and resources. These resources and platforms sometimes are formal and sometimes are informal, very tailor-made, individual-centric, like some individual is learning out of a given situation in personal life. But we need to understand that the vast nature of this lifelong learning, which should be inclusive. This is one which is very important to understand. It should be inclusive and must be catering to the needs of diverse group of learners, diverse group of people involved in the process of learning. When I say, and when this topic was suggested to me, that lifelong education is a lifelong process, the topic itself is establishing the need and establishing the fact that we are considering education as not as an end, but as a mean, as a process. And in being part of a democratic society, democratic processes are more important than the behavior of voting, than the right of voting exclusively. So if I am giving opportunity to live a democratic life, those lifestyle, those choices of taking decision, those choices of participating in the process of decision making, those processes where I am enjoying my liberty, equality, and fraternity, is giving democracy a shape in the ground level, giving democracy a shape at the in our individual's life. So those processes are more meaningful than the end only, where I can see that fundamental rights are given to me to exercise or to optimize my development and my potential in the society. This concept of lifelong learning drives from UNESCO's idea in 1948, when UNESCO suggested that adult education is a old nomenclature, old concept, which is talking of certain pedagogies, especially hutogogy and andragogy, which are meant for teaching and learning adults who are not in the formal setup. This lifelong learning allow us, and then education policy 2020 is also talking of lifelong learning as an upcoming area, upcoming theme, that people should be given access to libraries, people should be given opportunities to learn new ideas and keep themselves growing and promoting throughout their life. So this education, when we say, never ends. In one domain like ICT, ICT is now another important domain which is coming up, and many of the people who are well qualified in their profession, in their specialized area, but need to learn a lot of new things on technology, because technology is younger than their own age, and younger generation is more confident and competent on the matters of use of technology. So institutions of lifelong learning are meant to provide environment to young people, to old people, to retired people, to homemakers, to students, to teachers, to working people, whether they are working as bureaucrats or office managers. So everybody is supposed to keep enhancing their potential and capabilities to be more effective in their work domain as well as in their personal life. And for that process, for that reason, I am suggesting education is a lifelong process. We are learning from each day, each behavior, each meeting, whether this is formal or informal. Sometimes we unnecessarily get into the situation where we believe that education is system. When we thought of education, we believe that education is something which is given in an educational institutions. And here we are delimiting the scope of education itself as a discipline, as a process, and as a practice. So my idea and my suggestion, whether it is inspiring stories of Man Ki Baat, or there are Puranik Kathaएं, whether these stories belong to Indian tradition or custom or epic stories from Indian history, all these stories are teaching us certain values, certain scientific outlook, and helping us understand the rich culture, rich tradition, rich practices of past India. My point on this lifelong process, where I said this pedagogy, andragogy, which is meant for, and now we are talking of another gogy, which is public pedagogy, which is based on internet, which is based on this technology, where we are addressing and meeting large number of population. This lifelong process can be met with the help of new concept of open distance learning, ODL models, which are very helpful, YouTube models. Many of us are using YouTube clippings to learn new things. I have passion and interest in gardening. I have interest in carpentering. I have interest in painting. I want to learn to use some new gadget which I have brought from market. Then this YouTube channel is really helping us. You just search for using a new iPhone. So the YouTube is there, which would be educating you how to use it. So this new technology based pedagogy is known as public pedagogy. So public pedagogy and andragogy, these two are meant and supporting the agenda of lifelong education. Education never ends. This is well-established fact promoted by our father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi as well, when he said the head, heart, and hand, we should be working with all these three. Cognitive development is only one aspect of development, whereas the development of emotions and development of skills and competencies is another important aspect of human life. So with these words, I would suggest that we should never think of stopping from learning. What we need open-mindedness. As a researcher, if I want to go for a research, I need to be open-minded. I should be receptive to new ideas and challenges, and I should have a courage to take risk and look into new ideas, whether those new ideas are going in line with my personal ethos and personal preferences and liking or not. So these 3-4 things help us becoming open to the process of lifelong learning, and openness, readiness, receptiveness, these 3 domains will surely help us to become an effective learner throughout our life. With these words, I think Rawatji is also looking at watch, and I know there is a long chain of quality speakers waiting after me. So education must go on, whether in formal, informal, or pedagogy, public pedagogy mode. And we must be, well, we especially the people of education, we especially the responsible adults in the society should be willing to learn new ideas and making a pace, trying to keep our pace with the young generation. So our society, our nation should be growing all together, not older generation and new generation, but we, the responsible citizens of the country. We should be going along. With these words, I'll stop here. And if there are any question or further clarifications, I would love to answer.
Thank you, sir. Question will be shared to you when it comes to us. And thank you for sharing the great ideas and enlightening us about the continuing education and lifelong learning.
Yes,
and allowing people to pursue their passion through lifelong learning. And I'm sure that University of Delhi is contributing a lot to allow individual to pursue their passion through the lifelong learning.
And
thank you so much.
And this education policy is also opening avenues for the people to follow their passion.
Yes.
Well, when it's talking of multidisciplinarity,
yes,
and holistic education,
yes,
so it's allowing people to go for multiple options. Physics with music, history
yes,
with languages, etc. So
right,
that way policy is also supporting this agenda.
Yes, sir. So
Thank
I'm
you.
sure that when the policy will support the university, so university can excel.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Delhi, University of Delhi is the pride of India, one of the most preferred and beloved university, and the alumni of Delhi University is everywhere,
Great.
including the ruling of this nation, right?
Right.